So this happens quite a bit. People bend keys, you know, you have to straighten them. They'll break during the straightening process. So one of the things to actually help, for me that's actually helped, is by heating up the key. It won't break as often. And I would say that since I've been heating up keys before I straighten them, probably, man, I've broken maybe 2 in 100. Probably actually a better success than that, actually. So anyway, that's what I'm gonna do. Flame, and then without touching, obviously, you know, the plastic, you don't want to get it near there. And it is gonna burn a bit of that. That's fine. We'll figure that out after. But I actually heat up the key, and I come to the side of the flame because I don't want to burn anything, so I use the least amount of flame possible. That is enough. I made these inserts. They're like leather inserts. Easy, you know, a loop, whatever, so I can actually put my thumb, because this is hot. A lot of care. Slowly bend it. And I think that's another success. And then you see the way the alignment here dips down. So that I will take up a bit. And it broke. This is what happens when things break. It was bent to the point where I didn't think it was actually, I knew it was gonna break. I didn't feel like it was not gonna, but you have to try. The heating up trick helps almost, I would say 98% of the time when that key is bent, or any key is bent. Especially at a joint where it's been soldered already. Sometimes solders are kind of cold solders, which means that they didn't catch. There's a bubble inside or something like that. So yeah, now I'm gonna have to solder. This I'm gonna have to take off, and then I'm gonna have to solder this piece. The zoom sucks on this. Back on there. One of the things that I have to do is that these pieces, where they broke, they're all jagged. I wish I had a better camera with a better zoom, but they're all jagged, and you have to file them down so they're flat and then they connect together perfectly, you know. You don't want much air in the middle because you want the solder to go true and straight in. I use a tiny file, I do that. These pieces are completely flat, clean. I can set them up in the jig. This is called a jig. Yeah, it doesn't dance. Jig. Yeah. So I'll set those up, and then I use flux. It's a paste kind of substance that'll make the solder flow. There's 2 kinds of solders. There's soft solders and then silver solders. Soft solders are used for things that don't have a lot of tension to them, and if they break, it's fine. You know, they don't have a lot of tension, so it's okay. This kind of thing, it's a permanent. We want a permanent fix, something that does not break. So, because it gets bent a lot. So a soft solder might actually break, whereas a silver solder, this won't break again. You know, once I put it on, the chances of this breaking again, very slim. So that's what I want, which I use this flux to actually make it flow into there and have a good solder. So I'm going to jig it up, and we'll go from there. Now, as you can see, the jig is holding the key up there, and I've put it where it's absolutely right, as close as possible with the flux. Some say it gets a different color, but it does. You don't see it the first couple of times you do it, but like, well, more than a couple. It does change color. You want it to get red hot, and then just a dab of solder, because you don't want too much, because then there's too much cleanup. Here we go. You want to heat up the biggest part first. There you go. Voila! Silver solder. Now, touching this would be bad right now. So, I'm going to let it cool. I'll come back to it. There's a little bit of cleanup to do. Not too much. I don't know if you see it that much. This is the worst zoom in the world. But that is silver soldered on. So that's how you silver solder. First couple of times I did it, it just would never flow. Which is funny now because I just do. I don't even think about it. Finished product. I replaced the cork that was underneath there because it had burnt a bit. One thing out there, when you're doing up corks, do not skimp out. It takes 2 seconds to take a little bit of sandpaper, do the edges, smooth out your cork so it looks nice every time. It's one of my peeves when I see, you know, like, there's a lot of repair technicians all over, and all of them qualified and what have you. But something very simple like that, like taking a tiny piece of sandpaper, sanding the sides down so it doesn't look all jagged and gross, goes a long way. It brings up the level of your repair from being, yeah, you know what, this plays pretty well, and that's, you know, it's good. But then it goes up here where it plays really well and it looks good. That's where I think that's where like the pro kind of step up, you know. I don't know if I would ever call myself a pro. I've been doing it for quite a long time, but that's where I think the level is. If you want to take pride in what you do, your finished product better look good. That's pretty much all I'm saying. So yeah, that's how you solder a key.
It shouldn't hurt, don't take it personal. You need to subscribe to the Arsenal, Rogers Arsenal channel. Rogers Arsenal channel. Yeah, oh yeah.
Now the playtest. Never had one lesson.